Hi, and welcome to HSP Connection. I'm Robbie Leigh.
And I'm Philippa Robinson. Welcome to our brand new podcast. We're really excited to bring this new podcast to the ears of many more HSPs, we hope, because we have been on our own HSP journeys. And now I must first explain what we mean by HSP. So you may know the term HSP, which stands for highly sensitive person. You might understand high sensitivity or sensory processing sensitivity. Or if you know the work of Willow McIntosh, you might know high sensory intelligence. All of those things are the same thing, which we, for the purposes of this podcast, are going to call HSP. But this is not just for people who identify as a highly sensitive person. But we know a lot of people do, and it's a good shorthand. So we created the HSP Connection podcast and called it HSP Connection because that's how we connected. We were in a coaching program together. We were both coaches before we joined the program, and the program with Willow McIntosh helped us discover our own particular gift that HSP, being an HSP, brings to us and that we can use in our coaching. But also importantly, it brought us both together and we've become really great friends. And we want to talk about the joys, the beauty, the gift. In fact, we want to talk about the joy, the beauty, and the gifts, got my plurals in the wrong place there, of being a highly sensitive person, because that's really how we find it, isn't it, Robbie?
Absolutely. Yeah. Growing up, there was a lot of, and even now, when we say the word sensitive, you who are listening might even have maybe a slightly sensitive reaction to that word because, it's gotten a bad rap, the term sensitive, and we hear don't be too sensitive or, all of those things. And as Philippa and I both started really exploring our sensitivity and finding out what the strengths were in there and finding out the gifts that it actually brings and learning how to regulate our systems so that we could bring our gifts forward. I think it's fair to say it's transformed both of our lives, and it's really transformed our coaching practices and helping us work with our HSP clients and helping them to really blossom and discover their gifts, to stand in those. And we wanted to be able to share this with other HSPs so that you don't have to feel alone out there. When you're getting these other messages that maybe you should hide your sensitivity, like many of us have done, we want to give you a place to shout it out to the rooftops, right? A place where you can feel really seen and heard and validated, that the way you experience the world isn't weird. It's wonderful. And in fact, it's really, really needed. Yeah.
Yeah. Because we wouldn't have it any other way, would we?
No.
No. And there is such joy and beauty in it, like I've already said. And to those of you who are listening, you've already heard me stumble over my words quite a few times, and we will both do it during the course of the episodes. We are totally imperfect human beings, and we are just going to bring our imperfect human HSP selves to this podcast and just share with you things that we think are important, or we think are funny, or we think are really worth sharing. And we really hope that whether you're an HSP or not, that you will enjoy listening to us sort of having a bit of a rant, having a bit of a ramble, slipping over our words, having a bit of a laugh, but hopefully sharing things with you that you're going to find really valuable and validating, because that's really our big why, isn't it? My personal why as well about podcasting, I have had another podcast for a while, but I really wanted to do this one with Robbie. And not everyone has access to coaching, not everybody wants to go to coaching, so the reason that I want to do this is that I feel like I've learned so much over the last 2 years. Well, so much over the last 7 years since I had a massive breakdown, but mainly in the last 2 years since I discovered that I'm a highly sensitive person. And I just wanted to share it because I figured if I didn't know it in my 50s, there's going to be lots of people out there, my age, younger, older, who don't know. So that is my why for wanting to do this podcast and to have some fun as well. What about you, Robbie? I don't actually know the answer to this question. Maybe yours is very similar to mine. I suspect it might be.
Yeah, it is. It is very similar. No surprise there. A few years ago, when I really started digging into what does it mean that I'm highly sensitive, and it was also like, how do I get help for it? Because that was my, like, how do I fix this thing? How do I get help for it was the first way I was going about it.
Yeah.
And I found little places online where I started learning more, and then I would found more and more things, and finding the knowledge, but then finding community of other HSPs who were having similar experiences, like that has truly changed my life. So I wanted to do this to be another avenue for knowledge to get out for people, right? Another place where they could maybe hear somebody that has similar experiences to them or sounds like them, or just something that is relatable that helps someone go, oh, it's not just me. Oh. And part of my mission just in life is kind of to change the message on that word sensitive. It is to take it from being an almost bad word, something we want to avoid, to something we can really revel in and own and shine and share with the world in a really positive way. Because honestly, the world needs us as sensitive people to rise up and share our gifts with the world. The world needs us. The reason we are made a certain way, and it's because the world needs us that way. Like, we bring an advantage to the world. And for so long, many of us haven't known how to access that, didn't know it was an advantage, thought it was just something wrong with us. That's what I thought at first. Literally when I first heard the term, I thought, oh, there's the label for the thing wrong with me. That's really what I thought. And there's nothing wrong. Sensitivity is not a disorder. And so I'm just, and I want to do this podcast with you in particular, because we've become such dear friends, but in that coaching program together, learning about our sensitivities. It's so easy to talk to you about things. It's just, and it's fun. And I reach for fun and ease. That's one of the things I pivot toward now as I'm creating a life that works for me, is what are the things that are fun and joyful and easy, and who do I have deep connections with? And, this ticks all those boxes for me. Plus, I get to give back, which is so meaningful to me.
Wow, that's a brilliant why. And one that we both share, but you beautifully articulated. And listeners, you'll soon realise that Robbie is the deep, thoughtful, articulate one, and I'm the one that sort of
you are also the deep, thoughtful, articulate one. Come on now.
I can be at times. Okay, let's not start with me putting myself down. But
that's right.
we're not, sensitive people are here for a reason. It's not a mistake. And, we want to encourage people to shine their light, own their light and shine it, because that's what we're doing. So that's why we created this podcast. And we really hope that, you're going to enjoy it. Please subscribe so you don't miss any episode. We're going to drop one a week as often as we can keep up with that. We do intend to get on that schedule and stay on it. And, you know, we also, as Robbie was talking about community, we really want to, we want you listeners to feel included in this, and we'd love to hear your thoughts, your comments, your questions, so that we can include those in podcast episodes. We will probably do some recordings with people invited to come and record with us and be here with us on Zoom. So we've not quite decided how often we're going to do that, but we absolutely are going to do that. So if you feel that's something you would like to join in with us, please let us know. Our contact details, which we will tell you at the end, but they will all be in the show notes, so where you can get hold of me or Robbie, or email us directly at the podcast. And yeah, we're just really looking forward to all these great conversations we know we're going to have. We've got a list of topics as long as both our arms and our legs put together. So, you know, we've got loads that we want to talk about and bring, but also we want to make sure that we're telling you the kind of stuff, we're talking about the kind of stuff that you want to know about. So please let us know. Otherwise, we're just going to ramble about what we think is important, and we're very good at that. But we would love to hear from you. So please do get in touch. Is there anything else? Have we forgotten anything, Robbie?
I mean, we might have, but
I think we're probably bound to have done. When we finish recording, we absolutely will have. Oh, we forgot that, and we forgot that.
That's right. And our listeners will get to know our style very quickly. As you mentioned earlier, we aren't perfect. And in fact, I call myself a recovering perfectionist, and Philippa recovering people pleaser. And we show ourselves as vulnerably and imperfect as we really are, because we just want you as listeners to know, like, there's space for you to be you in the world, just as you are. Just show up imperfectly. So yeah, we might have forgotten something, but I think we got the important stuff. We got most of the important stuff. And if we miss something, we'll add it in the show notes.
We will. You're right. So if you want to email us, you can email us at HSP Connection podcast. I nearly forgot that. HSP Connection podcast at gmail.com. And if you want to get in touch with Robbie, you can find Robbie at Robbie Leigh, LEIGH.com.
And Philippa is at safeandsupported.co.uk.
Amazing, we did it.
We look forward to the next conversation, and we look forward to hearing from you.
We absolutely do. Take good care and see you very soon.